Right, hello everyone. It's me, the drinker, and well, this is a bit of an unscheduled live stream. But basically, I've got myself a whole new PC set up here. I just went in to get some fucking RAM, and like this is what happened. But anyway, the point is, when you get a whole new PC and you know everything's been changed and all your setups are different, you kind of want to check to make sure everything actually works, especially when it comes to live streaming, because I don't really want to get to open bar tomorrow night and then find that nothing works properly. So here we are. So I guess I'll just start by asking people if they can hear me okay and if this is all coming through all right. Yeah, I'll just I'll give it a few seconds for chat to catch up with me here. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Some deplorable says I'm sounding weird in Scottish. I know. What can I say? A couple of other people say that the video is lagging slightly, so I'll need to look at that then and figure out what's causing that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see how it's looking. Okay. People saying it's all right now. Well, that's good in any way. Okay. Right. Well, I'll assume that it's going okay so far. Yeah, some people were saying that it was stuck for a second there. Yeah, but it's all right now. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a bit of a glitch because it's like the first time it's run. But anyway, well, we'll see how it goes. But hey, well, you've got me to entertain you for the next little while since I'm here. You know, I might as well answer a few questions and see how you guys are doing. Yeah, obviously, I'm going to be doing open bar tomorrow night, so that'll be the proper live stream. But in the meantime, I am here. So how the hell's everyone doing tonight? As you can tell, it's been it's been sunny here in Scotland. I am burned to fuck right now. Yeah, someone's saying you look burned. Yeah, I kind of am right now. This is the problem, you know. It's when you've had like 6 months of complete darkness, you get a little bit of sunshine, and your skin's just not used to it. So yeah, man, there's quite a bit of burning at this time of year while we transition into summer. You know. What's this one? How late does the sun set in Scotland at this time of year? Well, I mean, what? It's like 10 p.m. here, and it's still, you could probably see it's still kind of daylight outside. When you get to the height of summer, like probably a month from now, you're going to be talking probably 10:30, 11 o'clock before it gets dark. So it's, yeah. And then it gets light at like 4 a.m. So we don't get a huge amount of darkness at this time of year, which is good. Right, here we go. Right. People are saying that it's still slightly off. All right, let's see if I can do anything about that. I'll stop the cam for a second and then restart it and see if that helps. Okay, and I'm back. All right, we'll see if that makes any difference. Yeah, what's this? Az is dying playing Golem right now. He might need therapy. Poor Az. Yeah, that game does not look good. And apparently you need like basically a supercomputer to run the damn thing. So I do feel sorry for him a little bit. But hey, he brought it on himself. You know, he volunteered to play it. Here's a good question. What is the best alcohol? Right. Yeah, sorry, it's gone by before I could bring it up. Yeah, so best alcohol kind of depends on what you want, really. You know, if you just want a thirst quencher, then you're going to want a good beer. I've got a bit of a fondness for IPAs, sue me, you know. Also like a good lager. So Innocent Gun is like a lager that's popular over here in Scotland. Don't drink Tennant's because that's pish. It's the devil's piss. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. It's a good thirst quencher. Gin's also very good at this time of year. You know, a gin and tonic with a bit of ice in it when it's really hot. That's also good. Obviously, a good malt whiskey, so something like Highland Park or Lagavulin, or even a bit of Talisker. That's all great. Tend to drink that more in the winter time, just because it's colder and it feels more appropriate then. A whiskey and like a roaring fire while it rains outside. That's pretty good. And yeah, as for vodka, don't really care. I'd pretty drink. They all taste kind of similar to me. Yeah. Alcohol's a great way to hydrate. It is indeed, yeah. I see no problems with this whatsoever. Guinness, yes. I was just over in Dublin, actually, about a month ago. Went to the Guinness distillery, the Guinness brewery, actually, should I say. Did the tour and drank plenty of Guinness while I was there. Yeah, and it does taste better when you're actually in Dublin, I'll say that. Yeah, like Guinness is not the sort of stuff that I would drink all night because it is pretty heavy going after a while. So like 2 or 3 pints is probably enough for me. Then I'd want to move on to something lighter. But yeah, I tell you, man, like when it's like this, boiling hot as it rarely is in Scotland, just a nice cold beer. That's all I need. Just not a Bud Light. Anyway, port with tonic. Someone suggested. God damn. Okay, my stream is slurring again. That could be me rather than the stream. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Good booze on a hot day. Yeah, anything cold, really. A good beer that's ice cold. Perfect. I don't know if anyone's seen that old World War II movie, Ice Cold and Alex. But it's like this team of soldiers that have had to hightail it across the desert during the North African campaign, and they finally get to like Tunis, I think it is. And they hold up in a bar right at the end, and they just get like this round of pints poured for them, and it just looks like the most satisfying pint that's ever been drunk. It looks great. Right, give me a second here, and I know there was a few people sending me super chats, so let me just catch up on them while we go. Michael C says, "Drinker, you eloquent expresser of elucidation. Cheers to you. Hope this Wednesday night is going well on your end." It is indeed, yeah. A few technical issues that I'm just ironing out right now, but this is why we do it. But yeah, all good, man. Thank you. Timothy Finch says, "Best thing to come from TLM is it compelled me to watch the original animated trilogy, and despite having only thought it was okay as a kid, I now love it." Nice. Good one, man. And it's always good to enjoy the older stuff. Living Jar Cletus says, "Hey Drinker, you were a big inspiration for my channel." Nice one, my friend. And best of luck to you. I'm glad I can give people a little bit of inspiration to do something other than drink. If you want to do something productive and create a YouTube channel, then all good, man. All right, what else here? Give me 1 second. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's loads that have come through while I've been doing this. Center Negative says, "Just because, you handsome son of a bitch." Thank you. Chris Currens, give me a super sticker. Thank you, man. Shakalaka King says, "Show recommendation for you. Sanctuary. It's about a guy in Japan who becomes a sumo to support his broken family. Really something." Nice. Interesting concept there. It's kind of like a guy in the US getting into boxing or something, is what he's good at. But sumo wrestling is a whole different level. Oh, yeah. Fabian Schutz says, "Perhaps you can get a mail address where people can send out beverages from all over the world." I do have one. I've got a P.O. box, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to think where it's listed. I don't think it's listed on my About page. But, yeah, if you want to send anything like that, email me, because you've got the email address on the About page on my channel, and I'll send you out my P.O. box. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. Yeah, still a bit of a video delay. Let me see if I can stop the cam, see if that helps. All right. I'll start it up again, see if that does anything. Yeah, someone's mentioned there, it's not easy to ship alcohol. That is very true. Shipping it internationally can be a real pain in the arse. So yeah, it's not an easy one. Dredge says, "Sounds good on my end." Excellent. Northern English Bastard says, "What do you think?" Or sorry, who do you think played the best Batman? It's a tough one, man, because Christian Bale really nailed it. He's like the consummate professional, obviously. In terms of just like physical likeness and stuff, I don't know, man. I think my money might be on Affleck. I think his Bruce Wayne is like how I imagine Bruce Wayne to be. You know, he's big and towering and imposing. He's a bit like rugged looking. Yeah, I mean, say what you want about the movies. Obviously, that's a whole different ball game. But in terms of like his actual portrayal of the character, I think probably he's my favorite. So yeah, that'd probably be my choice. Ben H, give me £5. Thanks, man. Elon Musk says, got a favorite mixed drink? So like just anything that you mix up together. Rum and Coke is a big one for me. I really like a good rum. There's a really good one that I got at the moment called Bamboo Rum, which is a bit of a weird name, but it's got like a slight caramel flavor to it. And yeah, mix that with a bit of Coke, and it's good stuff. Failing that though, probably a gin and tonic. Like I kind of like the bitterness of the tonic. It's just a real like crisp sort of thirst quenching one. It's really good. It's what I always drink when I'm thirsty. Oh, here we go. Okay. So good setup, but the audio is very compressed like an MP3 file at low quality. I wonder if it's coming through my webcam in that case. Give me 1 second. Audio. Okay. Yeah, it should be right. I'll change it to something else and just see what that does.
Right. I've changed it, so you guys let me know if that sounds better or worse. I'll just give it a few seconds for the thoughts to come through. Because this might have switched it to my webcam audio, so it might sound like shit now. Yeah, okay, it's worse. So I'll switch it back. This is good. This is how we iron out the problems.
Okay. Cancellation. Right. Okay. That should be better. All right. So yeah, that's back to the microphone again. So that should be all right. Okay. The next question was Redzot, sorry, who says, can you please come to Nashville sometime and let me take you to the Jack Daniels distillery and maybe a few others? I would like that very much. I'd like to go to Nashville just because that's like the home of country music. So, man, what is it like the Bluebird Cafe that they've got there? That's like the sort of proving ground for like new artists and stuff. I'd love to go there and just have a few beers, just hang out in the evening, watch some country or listen to some country music getting played. That'd be a nice way to spend my evening, I think. So yeah, one day I will make it to Nashville. Next one is Sean Mooney, who says, can you come to my birthday? I'm afraid I can't. No. Just imagine me there, though. It'll be better. Honestly, it'll be better than the reality. Orion Stark says, salutations, you handsome devil. Have you ever thought about producing a film or series using crowdsourcing? I'd love to see the Drinkers version of a heroic space fantasy. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing right now, because we did a Kickstarter at the end of last year to get a short film made, and that's exactly what we've raised the money for. So yeah, like we've basically smashed our target, which was fantastic. We are now deep in the midst of doing all the setting up for the movie, because we're planning to film it in mid-July. I think the shoot's going to last about 2 weeks, so it'll be like middle of July up until the start of August, and then probably a couple of months of like post-production. So it's going to be based on the Ryan Drake novels that I wrote, which I don't know, most people probably know, but I'm an author when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. And so I wrote this series of books. There's 9 of them now called the Ryan Drake series, and it's like action thrillers. And yeah, that's what it's based off of, those characters. And the hope is, I guess, if it's successful, like people like it, maybe we can do bigger and better things next year. You know, this is like a testing ground really for the director, the production team, the stunt guys. But yeah, we've got some good people involved in it, and like I'm hoping that we're going to produce something halfway decent for you. I'm not going to pretend that we've got a crazy big budget where we can do anything, but we've got enough to do something hopefully that's going to look fairly professional. So that's the goal, and we're working hard towards it. So thank you. Right. Next one is, hold on. I'm going to put the volume up just a little on this, which I can do because I've got the power. All right. Jan Javi says, "Hi Drinker, just curious, will you write more Ryan Drake or Alex Yates novels? If Drake's story is done, would definitely love more about the hacker." Cool, man. Yeah. Thank you. That one just came out of nowhere when I wrote that. It was basically, for people who don't know, like as I said, the series of books that I wrote is called the Ryan Drake series, and he's the main character. But then for book 4, I just totally like switched it around. I had a completely different protagonist for that book. It was like almost like a side story. And how it came about was a bit convoluted, but basically it was originally going to be a smaller part of a larger novel, but it was going to end up taking up too much time, and it was going to distract from that narrative. So I then switched it to like just being a little novella. So it was going to be like maybe 100 pages long, something like that. But as I wrote it, I was very much enjoying it, and it just kept growing and growing until I ended up with like just a full-size novel with this different character, but still set in that universe. And so, I spoke to my publisher about it, and they said, let's put it out as a book. It's a bit unexpected and it's a bit different, and so we did it. And it obviously caused a little bit of confusion, but I think people came to appreciate it, and obviously people seem to like the character too, so that's good. But yeah, I'm in an interesting position with the Ryan Drake books in that, like, I feel like the main narrative is done, and I'm very lucky as an author that I got to actually finish it my way, because so many don't. Like, they get cancelled or whatever. Like, the publisher drops them, and that's the end of their writing career. But I was lucky enough to be able to finish it the way I wanted. But I always left the door open for doing more. If I ever wanted to come back to it, and doing this script for the short film that we're working on, it's reinvigorating my interest in the character and that universe and stuff. And yeah, man, it might be interesting to come back to it and do some more. Watch this space, I guess. I guess we'll get the movie done first, and then we'll see where we're at. But yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I might be interested in coming back to that, especially because these books were set about 10 years ago, because that's when I started writing them. And so it might be interesting to jump forward to the present day, and then see how the characters have changed in the past 10 years. Okay. Yeah, next one is Titanic Tuna, who says, "The old set was better. Where's the doggo cam? You burned." I'm sorry. Yeah, like tonight, like I say, tonight is just a case of I wanted to get everything set up, and I wanted to test this new computer and everything and make sure it actually works. And it may be that there's still some audio visual issues that I need to sort out, so I didn't want to add to the problems by having the dog cam in, so that's pretty much why. But yeah, as for the new setup, I don't know, man. Would you rather see this that's like somewhat interesting behind me, or just like an office, which is what you would get if you turned it the other way, where it's just like a TV and stuff in the background and some sofas? Like, it's not very interesting. But hey, I mean, like, each to their own, I guess. Like, I just thought it would, it would make more sense to have some shelves and stuff behind me filled with borderline interesting things. I don't know. It just seems like the kind of thing YouTubers do. I'm just figuring it out as I go. The Windows Phone Live says, "Where do you find the time to do all the things that you do?" Well, cocaine's a hell of a drug, No, I mean, seriously though, it's just you've got to be a bit more efficient with your time, I suppose. And yeah, sometimes it just means you don't get an awful lot of leisure time for doing other stuff. But I like to combine my leisure and my work by drinking and doing live streams and things like that. So it generally works out pretty well for me. It was even more difficult when I was actually writing novels. And there was a little short spell, believe it or not, where I was working an almost full-time job, and I was doing YouTube videos, and I was trying to finish off my final novel in the Ryan Drake series. So that was a very busy time, as you can imagine. And yeah, I just didn't have a whole lot of time for anything else. So that was, yeah. I'm glad I don't have to go through that again. That was something I was happy to quit my job and devote myself to the other things full time. Okay. Next one. Isildur's Bane says, Drinker, would it be possible to get Max Landis on the stream? He refers to you in vids all the time. Sucks that he got Me Too'd out of Hollywood. I don't know. I mean, like, you know, sometimes we interview people from the industry and stuff to see if, like, what their insights are. Maybe we could do something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah. Nice that he knows who I am, though. What's the next one? Oh. What are your thoughts on the new Spider-Man movie? I just watched it an hour ago. Is this the... Oh, Christ, what's his name? Why am I fucking blanking on this? I'm going to wait for chat to catch up to me. Yeah, Miles Morales. That's it. Yeah, is it the new Miles Morales one? So it's like Into the Spider-Verse. No, I haven't seen it yet, but, well, I'm going to be on Friday Night Sights. So I kind of need to watch it before then, because we're going to cover it. So yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow or Friday as soon as I can, really. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what it's like, because I enjoyed the first one. You know, I thought it was pretty decent. Yeah, yeah. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Yeah, so as I understand it, right, he's like an alternate version of Spider-Man from a different universe. So it's just like Spider-Man in a different reality. But yeah, for me, Peter Parker is always going to be the actual Spider-Man. Like Miles Morales is just a kind of variant character, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, what are your thoughts on Kill Bill? I like it. I very much like it. The Bride is a great character, you know? We talk a lot about strong female characters, and like there's a very well written one. You know, women on a revenge trip. Some of the fight scenes that she gets, especially the one where she's up against Daryl Hannah, like that's some awesome stuff right there. And then she plucks her fucking eye out. What a way to go! But yeah, overall, like very stylized. The bit where she fights the crazy 88, just great fun. You know, so over the top. Classic Quentin Tarantino. I think one of the last really great movies that he did. I know that's like a bit of a controversial take. I feel like the stuff he produces now is not as good as it was in his heyday. But Kill Bill is very much, you know, peak Tarantino, I think. And yeah, David Carradine as Bill. Like, man, any guy who can asphyxiate himself in a closet while masturbating and that's how he goes out is all right in my book. He died doing what he loved. But he is cool in that movie, and yeah, like I love his very quick, understated fight with the bride at the end. You know, they're sitting down. It's not over the top compared to like everything else that's happened up until that point. Very quick, very clinical, and yeah, she gets him with the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Damn. Okay. What? Am I going to do a review of the Super Mario movie? I've done it. It's on my channel. Go watch it. It's there. Okay, here one. Have you watched any other Bollywood movie apart from Triple R? Also, the video is lagging behind. Damn. Yeah, still working on that. But yes, interestingly, I was sent a bunch of DVDs. I'm going to see if I can find them here, actually. Yes, look. Some kind fan sent me this, right? And I've got a few of them to watch. So the first one is Yuri, Tactical Strike. Next one is this one, Bajiro Mastani. And the final one is just War. But yeah, I think these are all Bollywood ones. And I'm very much looking forward to watching them. So yeah, I'm going to give them a go. And who knows, maybe it's a chance for me to experience a bit more Bollywood stuff. But you know, Triple R was really good fun, and I don't want that to be the only sort of Bollywood movie that I watch and review. So yeah, it'd be nice to get into more, and maybe these are going to get me into it. Okay. Let me do a few more super chats here. Peter O'Donovan says, "Have you seen Blake's 7?" Right, that's proper old school British sci-fi right there. It was a little bit before my time, unfortunately, and it never did reruns or anything when I was a kid. So yeah, never really got into it myself, unfortunately. But you know, maybe some other time. Apparently it's a total cult classic. I guess what can I say? Um, I heard that weird rumors that Farscape was kind of influenced by it, but that could just be wild conspiracy theories. Elon's Musk says, "Do you like anime? If so, what's your favorite show?" So anime, like very little experience with it. I mean, I've watched a few anime movies and stuff. Yeah, like I've said before, like the Studio Ghibli movies, I've watched quite a few of them. I've done a review actually of Castle in the Sky, which I very much enjoyed as a kid. Um, so yeah, like I guess those are my main exposure to it. I've watched Ghost in the Shell, obviously, because like everyone has. I really like Metropolis, like from 2003, I think that was. I thought that was a fantastic film. Like the art style is beautiful. Like the soundtrack is like this, like 1930s, 40s jazz. Like it just seems so like out of step with what's going on, but it blends perfectly when you actually see it in context. And yeah, like the stuff like that, I guess, has been my main experience with anime. Clearly, I need to watch more, and I know people have given me a million recommendations for good anime shows. It's just, yeah, it's hard to find the time, I suppose. Oh yeah, I did finally get into, damn, what was it called? Oh shit, it's the one that got the shitty Netflix remake, Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. So yeah, I got into that and really good. Really liked it. The characters were really interesting. The animation was good. There was a good bit of humor in it as well. Yeah, just a really cool little show. Liked it. Very quirky. What's this? Who is Tatiana? You're joking. The Little Mermaid review was gas. Tatiana is my servant. She takes care of all my needs, no matter what they may be. But yeah, she doesn't normally appear on stream, unfortunately, because she's usually in her cage at this time of day. She's a long running character on the Drinker streams. Next one is, hey Drinker, have you played any of the EA Jedi games? If so, what do you think? I can honestly say I've never played a single one of them. I feel bad about that, but it's just never been my thing, unfortunately. Yeah, I just never got into it. Yeah, is it Jedi Survivors meant to be really good? Yeah, maybe it is. I just, for some reason, they've always just passed me by, and I've never felt compelled to play them. Particularly now that like Star Wars is so shit. Like, man, I can't really summon up the enthusiasm, unfortunately. Mr. Lucas says, I'm going to Prague. Any tips, lad? Nice. I've been to Prague twice, actually. What can I say? I mean, there's loads of like beautiful historical stuff that you might want to see there. I think it's the Charles the First Bridge that goes over the main river there. There's is it Wenceslas Square? Anyway, there's one that's got like a big astronomical clock thing there. So, you know, Prague is a very like picturesque medieval European city. So it's really beautiful to see. I think it was somehow untouched in World War II. So a lot of the buildings like are really old, which is nice. But yeah, generally there's loads of great places to eat and drink there. I don't know if it's still the case, but like they've got the biggest nightclub in the whole of Europe there. And for the life of me, I can never remember what it's called. But I was there on a stag weekend, and I kid you not, we got lost in the place because it's not just like one big dance floor; it's like loads of levels going down, and yeah, like loads of different areas, loads of different bars and stuff, and like it's kind of a maze once you get in there, and yeah, like fucking hell, man, we spent about 45 minutes trying to find the way out. It was like something out of a horror movie, but we were really drunk, so we didn't mind too much. Yeah. Next one is Friedrich Wolfgang, who says, cheers to the drinker for giving me good laughs and helping me cope through some dark times. Love from Canada. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Matthew A says, any films this June that you're looking forward to seeing? Also, have you seen all the bad Disney news? Also, sorry you sat through Little Mermaid. Yeah, I'm sorry too, man. It was quite the experience, but, you know, I got to vent my anger on that one, so that was fine. movies that I'm excited for. I don't know. Am I excited for The Flash? It seems like horror of horrors, it's actually meant to be quite good. Like we spoke to Chris Gore on the last open bar, and he seemed to think it was a good movie. You know, it's got a lot of fan service, a lot of love for the Batman, and it seems to be an all right film. You just have to slog through that first hour where you've got two Ezra Millers on screen, which, damn man, that's a bit of a challenge. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's that. Christ, what else is coming out soon? Um, yeah, I'm not sure what the next. Hold on, I'm gonna see what new releases we've got coming out, because I'm sure there is a couple. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch Across the Spider-Verse like tomorrow. Hopefully, that might be halfway decent. I mean, Oppenheimer, I'm hoping will be good. Yeah, hopefully Christopher Nolan's able to inject a little bit of personality into it. That would be nice. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be pretty historically and technically accurate. So there is that. Blue Beetle, not really. No, I'm not excited for that. And well, who isn't going to be excited for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? you know, it's yeah. It'll be an experience if nothing else, you know. It'll make for good review fodder, I'm sure. Um, what's the next one? Yeah. Um, yeah, you said I don't like Nolan movies because they lack emotion. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe emotion is the wrong word, but personality could be what I'm looking for. They're very clinical, they're very precise, they're very technically accomplished. They just, particularly the later ones, they just lack a bit of heart. I think it's a tough one to describe. There's never really any levity to them, and yeah, there just doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of personality. I think they've been saved up to a point by having really good actors involved, which is, it's always a bonus. Obviously, a good actor can elevate a pretty mediocre script or whatever, or a mediocre character. But yeah, I think Tenet was a real example of like Christopher Nolan like dialed up to 11. It was just too much high concept. People couldn't really follow it. The audio was terrible. The characters weren't really that interesting, and yeah, I hope he doesn't carry on down this path. It's you can intellectualize your movies a little bit too much and just come across as a little bit too pretentious, I guess. But when he's able to balance those two extremes, you get some fantastic films. I just hope he can get back to that. Um, yeah, this is a good point, actually. Interstellar made me feel depressed and even more scared of space. It kind of did, because it's like it depicts a world like an Earth where everything's dying and like everything's kind of hopeless, and like the only chance for humanity is this like one in a million shot where they're sending a crew off to a black hole. And just, yeah, it makes space seem absolutely horrific and terrifying. And, like all the gravitational distortion stuff where it messes with the flow of time. So, you sit down on a planet for 10 minutes and it's like 20 years have passed back on Earth. Yeah, it seems horrible. It just makes me not want to go in space. Like, I like the Star Trek version of space where it's all very kind of cozy and controlled, and it's not this horrific nightmare that is portrayed in Interstellar. And the ending was absolute bullshit as well. Um, yeah, there's a good question. Yeah, are you going to be on Film Threat Star Wars on trial? I'd like to be there, actually. I'd like to be part of the prosecution. If you don't mind, I'd like to present my case. So yeah, I think that could be good fun. Um, yes, there's a good example here. There was emotion in Interstellar. Yeah, a lot of it was sold through like Matthew McConaughey's performance. Obviously, the bit where he gets his updates from home and he gets to see his daughter grow up in a matter of minutes. Yeah, really well performed. And again, I think a great actor saved the movie, because the scene itself didn't give you a huge amount, but McConaughey's performance was fantastic there. Um, okay, what's our next one? Yeah, Dunkirk was another one of Nolan's that I have mixed feelings on. Again, technically brilliantly done. Just like the whole non-chronological storytelling aspect of it didn't seem to fit very well with a war movie, and yeah, the very minimalistic dialogue and stuff just felt weird. I don't know why he felt the need to do something like that. Okay. Sir Ossis says, speaking of Ireland, have you watched Boondock Saints yet? Would love to hear your review. Cheers. Yes, I have watched Boondock Saints, and it's an interesting movie. um, Billy Connolly's great in it when he finally shows up. Norman Reedus's Irish accent is, well, it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's a movie that uses a bit of non-chronological storytelling as well, where you get to see the aftermath of what these guys have done, and then you get the flashbacks to what actually happened. So, you know, it's kind of cool. I think the two main characters are interesting. Just guys on a revenge trip, really. So, yeah, decent enough. Didn't like change my life or anything, but like decent little like late '90s movie, I think. So yeah, all right. But yeah, I don't know why they got Norman Reedus in there. He's not an actor of great range. Let me put it that way, especially when it comes to accents. Tinsoat says, "Have you seen the movie Sling Blade from 1996? If it's the one I'm thinking of, then yes. Oh no, let's see who's in it. Billy Bob Thornton, Lucas Black, John Ritter. Oh, maybe not actually. I think I might have been thinking of a different one. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. No, I'm sorry, mate. Let me just refresh here. Okay, the next one is from... Sorry, there's been quite a few that have come through while I've been talking there, so... I just can't keep up with them, damn it! Oh, there it is. So, K Rose says, "You're brilliant, lad. Now, it's been a couple of months, but how do you feel the RE4 remake holds up against the 2005 OG?" Yeah, I think it holds up really well. It expands on things that you know, maybe could have used a bit more space. It introduces a slight open world feel. There's elements where you can just branch out and explore a little bit. Um, yeah, the obviously the graphics and everything are great by modern standards, so that's no an issue. The combat's just as immediate and sort of fluid and visceral as it was before, so that's all good. It presents a decent little challenge as well when you get to the boss battles. Inventory management and everything is fine. Just trying to think what else. Yeah, like the dynamic difficulty you kind of notice, like, you know, the game obviously tends to give you just what you need when you really need it the most, so it's fine. I think they could have. I guess some of the criticisms I had of the original game are not going to be changed here. Mainly, I don't love this idea of moving away from like bioterrorism and like evil corporations and stuff, which was always the mainstay of the Resident Evil games, into this sort of weird gothic horror territory where you've got, you know, big castles and aristocratic families and all that stuff. Like it just it doesn't really jive with the Resident Evil that I grew up with. So maybe that's just me being old and complaining about new stuff, but yeah, it feels very much like the sort of template that was set by like Code Veronica, which is this weird like little anomaly in the Resident Evil series with the graphics and stuff. But it is set this sort of tone of like we're gonna have like crazy like royal families with like castles and you know, all these ancient throwbacks to like you know, big epic histories to all these bioterrorism plagues and everything. It was set with that, and it was really like perfected in Resident Evil 4, and that kind of gothic horror style just doesn't really do it for me. I hated Salazar. He's such a shit villain, and that hasn't really changed. They made him look a bit more sinister at least, so that's something. But yeah, he was just an obstacle to be overcome. And Sadler, I feel like you never got a huge amount of like backstory to him. I never got a strong feel of who he was or what he really wanted. He was just this like crazy cult leader, and yeah, man, I just feel like the remake would have been a good opportunity to give us more on him, and it didn't really do it. So yeah, I think it didn't do too much wrong. It's just like the things that I like held Resident Evil 4 back for me, like story wise, haven't really changed, if you know what I mean. But like the gameplay's fantastic. Um, yeah, people are saying, yeah, it's good to see that I still own a PlayStation 1. Yeah, I've got all of them there, believe it or not, on the shelf there. PlayStation 1, then the 2, the 3's over there, then the 4, and the 5's obviously still getting used. So, and then down there you've got like a GameCube and Xbox 360. And although you can't, I don't know if you can see it very well from here, but I do have an Atari 2600 in there. And that's yeah, that right there is the first games console that I ever owned. And it was out of date even when I got it, but it was like second hand, and I thought it was the best thing ever. Um, and then yeah, like the PlayStation 1 is the original that I played back when I was like, I don't know, 13 or something. And that's why I completed Resident Evil on back in the day. So, and it still works, interestingly. So I don't even have to turn it on its side or anything. The CD tray and everything, the laser assembly actually still works. It hasn't broken down yet. So that's nice. Right. So someone's asking me about the Commodore. I do have a Commodore 64. It's still in its box, like in a cupboard somewhere, because it's too wide to fit into the shelves here, unfortunately. But yeah, I think my parents got me it back in the day, thinking, "Hey, he can play games on that, and he can use it to learn things and do productive stuff." And yeah, I just wasn't having it at all. The games on it sucked. The tape drive was enough to induce seizures. I don't know if anyone like is old enough to remember the tape drive on the Commodore 64, but it would give you these crazy like psychedelic colors appearing on screen when it was loading, just like loads of like flashing lights and stuff. And so yeah, you could go away, I don't know, make yourself dinner and stuff and eat it, and then come back and it would still be loading. So so yeah, it wasn't the thing for me. But then they eventually relented and got me a Super Nintendo instead. So then I was happy. Okay. Chris B says best drink for hot days is Paloma, tequila and grapefruit soda over ice. Nice. I quite like that idea. Yeah, I'm not normally a huge tequila drinker. I mean, I don't dislike it or anything. It's just not something that I have occasion to drink. Although I do have a nice bottle of Patron in the bar, like in the other room. But yeah, I only use that for like mixing and stuff. So yeah, you can. I do like a good margarita, I must admit. Um, Daniel Munro says, "Yes, drinker. Do you think with the success of Picard season 3 and Stranger Things season 4, we'll see more shows trying to unfuck themselves?" I mean, I hope so, but man, they got a long way to go. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you've got these little like glimmers of hope. You know, you get Picard season 3, you get Andor within Star Wars, which is like this well-made, well-told story. Um, you get Stranger Things season 4, but then there's nothing to say that they'll carry on that trend afterwards. Like I don't have much faith in Star Trek now producing more good shows. This just kind of felt like a nice little send off for the adults in the room, and it's back to the same old garbage that we had before. I think Stranger Things will probably carry on, you know, at high standard. I think they've realized their mistakes and they've corrected them because they don't have multiple shows, multiple seasons and stuff to worry about. They've just got one main storyline. They'll go forward with that. With Star Wars, yeah, that franchise is fucked. It's dead as a doornail, and it's not coming back. You know, and Andor's not going to change that. Everything else that's coming out afterwards just seems like it's going to be dog shit. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect anything great there. But you know, the law of economics remains undefeated. Ultimately, you know, you have enough failures. Eventually, you've got no choice but to either change or die out. You know, and that seems to be what a lot of them are wrestling with now. Robert Kearney says margaritas are great on a hot day. I'll drink to that, definitely. Okay. Casey Boyd says, Drinker, how would you distinguish a masterpiece from a perfect film? Like I would consider The Lord of the Rings a masterpiece, but not perfect films. God, that's an interesting question. I mean, I don't think anything can be considered utterly flawless. Like it's not really possible for that to happen. But you know, when you're talking about masterpieces, I guess it's going to be a combination of, you know, it's going to be a combination of the key elements that you look for in any movie, like really quality, a great story, a compelling story that deals with interesting ideas and does it in an interesting way. Great characters, imaginative direction that really like complements the story and has something interesting to say, and fantastic performances from your actors. And I think, you know, if you're talking about something like Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy, they pretty much have all of those things. They're adaptations, so like maybe you could argue that they lose some of the originality aspects of it because they're just adapting an existing work, but they do it really well. I think you know, if you're looking at something like 2001: A Space Odyssey, for example, you know, considered by many people like to be a masterpiece of filmmaking, like one of the most influential sci-fi movies of all time, because it's helmed by an extremely capable and extremely dedicated and intense director. Um, Brilliant like use of technology, brilliant special effects, like all of those things combine to immerse you in the film. And um, I guess what I'm trying to say is like you can set a whole bunch of different criteria for definition of a masterpiece is, but it's maybe going to kind of come down to something a bit more eligible than that. It's something that you recognize it when you see it, like a film or a could even be a painting or a book or a song, like something that moves you deeply. Um, I think that's got to be one of the, I guess, one of the benchmarks for what a masterpiece is. So yeah, it's difficult to define it, I suppose. But yeah, I would struggle to find too many flaws in something like Lord of the Rings, for example. So I think it would probably meet your criteria. The next question comes from, oh man, I can't say this one. Quadrilateral says thoughts on Pacino having a kid at 83. That's fucking stupid. You know, I guess like there's no age limit on guys, but there should be because man, that kid's never gonna like get to know his dad. Like Pacino's gonna be dead before he's, you know, old enough to remember him really, and that's a bit of a shit thing to do to your kids. Like there's a reason that you should have kids in your 20s or your 30s, so you're around to see them grow up, and you can, you know, you can help to raise them, you can guide them, and shape them into someone decent, ideally. Uh, and yeah, if you're gonna do it at that age, what's the point? You're not going to be around to see any of it. Selfish thing to do, I think. Living Jar Cletus says, "Drinker, have you tried Beamish Irish beer?" I might have done when I was in Dublin. I drank many beers. I might have had some of that while I was there. Cannon Folderall says, "Drinker, any upcoming cons? Got a calendar online?" So I should be at Anime Matsuri in August. That's my next one that I've got booked in. Yeah, after that, maybe at New York Comic Con, maybe at Dragon Con in Atlanta. Yeah, it's like TBC at this point. So yeah, the only one I'm confirmed for is Anime Matsuri. That's in Houston, I think. So yeah, I'll be there in August. So that should be nice because there's a whole bunch of other content creators that are going to be there as well. Okay. Ghost in the Craig says, "Cheers, Drinker. We're about to lose Yasin." What? What's that? Robo96 says, "Do you think you'll even bother watching the new indie movie? To me, it looks so corporate and depressing and irrelevant. At least Crystal Skulls was made with a sense of fun and good intentions." So, yeah, I mean, I'll see it to review it because I guess people will be interested to see what it's like. And if I can spare other people from enduring it, then maybe that's a good thing. Hey, that it's really good, then I can recommend it and people can go see it. So we'll wait and see. Okay. My next one is RGS Payne says, you recommended Innocent Gun. I tried and like it, so now I'm paying $17 for a 6-pack and it's your fault. I mean, what can I say, man? It's good beer, you know. It's no Bud Light. What can I say? At least you'll get drunk in style with it. But yeah, imported beers I guess are going to be expensive, but sometimes it's worth it, man. What can I say? The Gunslinger says, hi, I saw Sisu on the big screen the other night. It was epic. Such a testosterone-fueled film. Yes, we need more like that. Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not intellectual in the slightest. Doesn't need to be. It's just an old-fashioned action movie. This would have had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it if it was made back in the 80s. It's fine, you know, for what it is. So yeah, I think people just have a blast with it. There's no particular messaging. There's no bullshit pandering or anything in it. It's just a good, solid action movie. You know, I'd like to see what these guys can do on a bigger budget, actually. You know, because this was done on like a budget of 6 million euros, which is approximately fuck all for a major movie. So yeah, give these guys like 50, 60 million dollars and let them see what they can do. I think it would be awesome. Intelligent Crayon Eater says, thoughts on A Bridge Too Far? Worth a Drinker recommends. Absolutely. Also, ask Muller about the Welsh accents in the film Zulu, please. Well, as a non-Welsh person, I can say that they sounded fantastic. And I can also say that they got it exactly right when they said that everyone is either called Jones or Davies, because that is definitely true in Wales. I think they've got like a grand total of 3 surnames that they can choose from in Wales, and they're either Jones, Davies, or miscellaneous. That's all you get. Yeah, Bridge Too Far, great war movie. I mean, it doesn't get much more epic than that. And talk about an all-star cast. I think you've got Michael Caine, you've got Sean Connery. I think Gene Hackman was in it as well, and James Caan. Like, damn, it was incredible. I think Robert Redford was in it too. Like that was some cast. In fact, let me see, because I want to get this right. Because you're not going to see the like of that again. Alright, so you got Sean Connery, Michael Caine, Dirk Bogarde, Anthony Hopkins, of course, how did I forget him? Robert Redford, James Caan, Gene Hackman, Edward Fox. I mean, it's like a who's who of like classic war movies from back in the... Yeah, can't beat that. Student says, have you seen Lucky Hank? Bob Odenkirk doing his stuff. A good watch, as is the North Water. Haven't seen that, I'm afraid, mate. I don't know. Did like him in Nobody, though. Ranger of the West says, howdy from Texas, drinker. Any tourism recommendations for the great land of Scotland? Yeah, probably just the stuff that you would see everywhere, really. Like, go see Edinburgh. It's fantastic. You could spend like a whole week there and just like tour all the dungeons, the sort of the museums, the castle, all that stuff. Like you can even go around the Parliament building if you want to, and take a walk over Arthur's Seat, which is like the name of the big mountain that overlooks Edinburgh. And if you go down to the other side, there's a pub called the Sheep's Head, and they do, I kid you not, some of the best burgers and beers that you'll get anywhere in Edinburgh. But yeah, failing that, also you're going to want to go up into the Highlands again, around a little bit. If you can go up as far as Inverness, then do it. Get yourself to Loch Ness, because it's a lovely part of the world to see. And yeah, Pitlochry as well. That's like a little town just at the southern end of the Highlands. It's pretty touristy, but it's a really nice part of the world, like Perthshire. There's a lot of just like nice lochs and mountains and stuff and forests in that area, so... Gators159 says, Ryan Drake spoilers. A pregnant character is arrested, and for the rest of the series, that baby is never mentioned again, despite the character redeeming herself. What happened to that character's baby? Well, I'm glad you asked that one, because that is a little hook that I built in for if I ever wanted to do this series again, if I wanted to pick it up. and carry on the story, then that was going to be one of the big plot points that I was going to try and address. Because wouldn't it be interesting if Ryan Drake had to encounter his kid, 10, 15 years down the line when they're a bit more grown up? How would he deal with that? What would they be like? What would they think of him? So yeah, that was what I built into the story, and I left that purposefully unresolved because it's mentioned that she's on her way back from a hospital after having given birth when her convoy's intercepted. So I think you can assume that the baby was taken away from her, and you don't get to see what happened to it. So that was the thinking behind that, I guess. Sumitra Goosh says, "Hey Drinker, are you going to watch The Boogeyman?" I don't know. I mean, it's a horror movie, I take it. Don't know much about it, unfortunately. It just feels like a weird time to be watching horror movies. I like to watch them in October, Someone was asking me about oh yeah. So, how's the movie project going? Dying to see that. Yes. Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't know, you obviously weren't logged in at the time, but yeah, so it's all go at the moment. It's all that production stuff behind the scenes that they have to do. They've scouted out locations. They are in the middle of like putting out casting calls for the various actors, the various roles and stuff. They have done their budgeting. They're doing their stunt choreography, like all this stuff that has to go into like bringing it together for the shoot and then producing the final product. That's underway now, so it's very much all hands on deck for it. A lot of this stuff, I don't need to be involved in it because I'm just the script writer. Ultimately, I let the production people do their production stuff. Like I let the stunt guys choreograph their stunt scenes. We write the script, hoping that everything's going to get done. Then they look at the budget and they're like, this is what we can actually do. So there's a little bit of a mismatch. But yeah, and hopefully they're going to do this is they're going to shoot in the end of July. So like I think probably start about the 17th or the 18th and carry on until about the 2nd or the 3rd of August. So it's going to be 2 weeks or so of shooting. And then probably a couple of months of post-production, editing, soundtracks, special effects, all that good stuff. So yeah, it's very much team ahead right now. Okay, next one. Just 1 second. Okay, GRN says, you get a 1 to 3 minute MCU cameo in any film and you can write your own script and not even the director can change it whatsoever. What do you do? What would I do? I don't know. I kind of want to show up to protect the Dawn from Captain Marvel's horrifying abuse of him. So yeah, I'd probably give myself a cameo there where I come in, like she tries to like break his arm and I just grab her and push her off him and just go, no. Fuck off, Captain Marvel. I think that would be quite good fun. But yeah, failing that, I don't know, man. Yeah, it'd be quite good to hang out with Tony Stark, before he does the snap, because yeah, he's like my favorite character pretty much. So yeah, something like that I guess would be quite good. Stardust Avenger says, I just want to say thank you. I'm going through a rough time recently and your videos never fail to cheer me up and help me through it. Thank you. Cheers, man. And yeah, man, I hope things improve for you. Idino1 says, Sir Drunkler, please watch Excalibur again. I remember you said you saw it when you were a kid. It's certainly worth a rewatch in 2023. All right, fair play. I'll take a look. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched it, like I say. I remember it being quite good back in the day, but yeah, it's been a long time. Right. Happy Time says, can you take your shades off for 5 seconds? All right, just for you, because I care that much about you. There you go. You can probably see where the sun's not caught me, where I've been wearing sunglasses. So there you go. I'll look right at you, camera. All right. Okay. I'll do a few more. I don't think I'm going to get through all these super chats because, man, they're coming in faster than I can answer them. Northern English Bastard says Kevin Conroy for me, but Keaton for live action. That's fair play. I mean, Keaton was a bit of an odd choice time, but I think he did fantastic in the role. It's one of the few reasons why I'm excited. It'd be nice to see him, I suppose. Stephen Gradecack says, "Why do you stop using the Howie scream in your review videos?" That's Howie Long from Broken Arrow. I need to bring that back, actually. Yeah, I want to do that again. Just for you, I will put that in because yeah, it's been too long. I think John Woo just really like made the most of that scream. He used it in every one of his movies. Mr. Lucas says, "Are you going to Comic Con in Scotland this year?" I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm not booked in or anything, but yeah, it might be quite cool to do it. If I can get a slot, I suppose. And Dredge X97 says, "Your audio was fine before you messed with it. And howdy from Texas. Have you any Mexican or Texas drinks or foods that you like?" I don't know about Texas drinks. Like, is there a drink that's particular to Texas? But yeah, with Mexican food, all of it's nice and edible. You know, it's like I like spicy food, and so yeah, like a burrito or something like that, all good. I do like, no, it's not enchiladas, quesadillas. That's the one, like the flat one, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like them. So, yeah, like it's all nice and spicy, so it's pretty good for me. Yeah, like tequila, I suppose. Like I'm never gonna turn down a margarita. All right. Okay. What I want to do is, because I've been running this stream to test it, and I think there's still some stuff I need to work out from an audio and video side of things. So I'm going to stop it there, I think. But like, obviously, for people that have super chatted me that I haven't answered it right now, I will get on that. Like, I'll just do like an offline stream or something and then put it up so that you guys get your question answered as well. But yeah, there's some things I want to mess around with here to try and sort out any audio visual issues that I can't really do while I'm live streaming. But yeah, man, thank you guys for joining me tonight for this. Hopefully everything will be running nice and smooth when I do open bar tomorrow night. And yeah, like I say, if I've missed any of your super chats, I will get on them. But yeah, thank you for your generosity. I really, and yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow night. But for now, that's all I've got for today. So go away now.